Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Play Action Podcast presented by Warrior Student Media. I'm Brandon Smith, joined today by my great co-host, TJ Haws.
We're changing it up this week.
We have a special
I'm just gonna jump right in, changing it up this week. We're moving away from
Football.
For
one episode.
And we're gonna go into the NBA.
Just one episode. Playoff start. Regular season just ended yesterday. Yesterday was a lot of fun. A lot of guys, a lot of role players going for 40 points. And that's always kind of fun. I mean, Obi Toppin had like 42 points.
Obi Toppin.
Austin Reeves triple-double.
Jesus.
Austin Reeves had I want to say he had 35, 16, and 10.
Last day of the regular season is always the best. I mean,
it's real basketball.
It truly is.
There's no stars. Guys check in for 8 seconds to get their incentives.
Holiday. I was just about to bring that up, actually. But no, we are going to go through our entire playoff predictions.
And eventually who we have
winning it all. Finals. Yep. So
we're going to start in the East, and we got to start, obviously, with the play-in tournament. And the first game of the play-in tournament is the 7-8 East game, which is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Brooklyn Nets. Cleveland's had a great season. They exceeded expectations. A lot of people didn't think they'd make the play-in tournament. But they've had a fall at this point, from where they were a couple months ago. They were up in the top 4 or 5 seeds in the East, but they've fallen to the play-in tournament mainly because of injuries. But even if it doesn't matter who Brooklyn's playing, they're going to win this game.
Yeah, I hate Brooklyn so much. I hate Brooklyn, but no, I mean it's bound to happen.
They're just more talented.
The Nets are a team that probably even shouldn't be. If they played how they were expected to the whole way through, they would be a top 3 seed right now.
For sure.
But, I mean, with injuries, there was the Harden situation in the first half of the year.
And the whole
Kyrie thing especially.
But he's able to play now.
They had a lot of issues, especially, I mean, they also had their fair share of injury issues throughout their time together. So, but, I mean, I think they're guaranteed to win this game.
Yeah.
Or not guaranteed, but very good chance.
I agree. So that brings us to the Hornets and the Hawks in the 9-10 game. The loser of this game is just done right away.
Yep, and then the winner plays the loser of the 7-8 game.
So in that case, it'd be
the Cavs.
The Cavs
for both of us.
Yep. Who do you have winning this game?
I got the Hawks.
I got the Hawks.
We were literally just talking about this.
It's going to be such a fun game.
Trae Young is a menace in the playoffs, and I don't see that changing.
It's
I love Trae Young, dude. I love Trae Young.
I was watching a Hornets game the other night, and kind of forced into watching the Hornets, and it was not a fun game to watch. Well, it was fun. It was a fun first half to watch LaMelo play because LaMelo was just. It looked like his Chino Hills highlights, dude. LaMelo was hitting half-court shots.
He's just LaMelo. That's really all it is. Look, he's a ball brother, and I mean, they tend to be really good. So yeah. I'm not surprised he went off, but it sounds like Gordon Hayward won't be playing in this game, and I think that's kind of that would be their only reason they'd have a shot is having all of their top guys playing.
But I could see if LaMelo went for 40 something,
they would win a game.
They could win,
but winning a whole series,
they will not win a series.
Exactly. So, yeah, I got the Hawks.
So. And that's going to bring us to Cleveland versus Atlanta to go to the 8 seed.
Yep. I took the Cavs.
Did you?
I like the Cavs a lot.
I did not.
I'm a big Evan Mobley guy.
My only question is what's going to happen with Jared Allen because Jared Allen's been out for a while.
That is true. I mean that's going to be an issue, but I think they've got other guys.
Even if he's back for the game on Tuesday, they could win that.
I mean. I don't know if they could beat. I mean, like we just said, I don't know if they could beat the Nets, but I think the Hawks are a very beatable team. I think they match up well. I honestly think Mobley's gonna go off in the playoffs. I have that feeling, and so yeah, I'll take the Cavs to take the 8 seed.
All right, so I got the Hawks, and that leads us. Yeah. We're gonna go now to. We're gonna stay in the East. We're just gonna go through our playoffs, and then once we get to the West, we'll do that plan as well.
All right.
So, for our 1 versus 8 matchup, I have Miami and Atlanta.
I have Miami and Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, and the seeds are finalized, but that's just different for us because we had different winners.
Right. So who do you got winning?
As much as I hate to say it, I have Miami.
Right.
I don't like Miami. I don't like a lot of the players on that team, but I just don't think that Atlanta's got enough.
I took Cleveland. I took Cleveland over Miami.
Did you? Oh my God. Okay.
This is my one bold prediction for the playoffs.
I don't have anything super bold, but
I don't see. I'm not as sold on the Heat. I mean, I get they're the 1 seed and all that, but I'm not.
There are a lot of tryhards.
I don't like Jimmy Butler. I really don't think he's all that great. I consider him one of the most overrated players in the league. I'm not saying he's bad.
Dude, their role players are so annoying. Like Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Dwayne Dedmon. Go away. Like,
the whole team is stupid.
It just feels like they just hit those annoying shots to just. It's nothing that they do wrong. It's just annoying.
No, they do. I mean, I don't. I'm just again. I'm really. It's just a team that I don't think they have a ton of talent, like for the 1 seed that they are.
There's teams behind them that are better.
I completely agree. I think 2 through 4 are probably all have arguments to be better.
Yeah.
So.
Man, yeah. So I'm taking Miami. I think they win this series. We're not really saying games, but I think this game could go to 6. In my opinion, I think Miami wins in 6.
I could see that. I mean, I think if the Cavs win, it'd be 7.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't see them like 4 or 5 games, but I'm gonna take the underdog there.
So now we're moving on to 2 versus 7, Boston and Brooklyn. I'll let you go.
I took Boston.
I
took Boston. It's even though Kyrie is coming back to Boston.
That's gonna be so cool. That's gonna be so fun.
He's gonna lose. He's gonna lose to Boston. Jason Tatum is so good. Tatum, I was not a fan of Tatum in the first half of the year. This dude would go off in one game and then play terrible the next. And then
he's been on it.
He's been on it. He is a top 5 MVP candidate now. He's the sole, not the sole reason, but he's the biggest reason why they shot up.
I'm rooting for Boston for sure in the playoffs, just because I love some of the players they have. I love Jason Tatum. I love Jaylen Brown.
I love Jaylen Brown too. My God,
he's still underrated.
I was about to say he's very underrated. That whole team's good. We'll
see what happens with Rob Williams though.
I'm hoping he comes back, dude. Because if he comes back, that team might be the best in the entire East. Yeah. I mean, by far. That dude, he should have won, or he was going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
There was a chance.
I'd say he would have been my pick if he didn't get injured. But I mean, I think even so, they match up with the Nets really well.
All this sweet talk about Boston's nice, but I don't care. I'm taking Brooklyn.
Come on, dude.
I'm sorry.
Really?
I just can't.
Dude, I hate Brooklyn so much.
Just the fact that at least one of Miami, Brooklyn, Boston, Milwaukee, or Philadelphia doesn't have to make the second round or won't make the second round is tough.
And you know which one of those 4 I took.
You took Brooklyn.
No. Well, I took Brooklyn out. And I guess I took 2 of them out because I also took the Heat out.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I hate Brooklyn.
Yeah, so I got Brooklyn moving on to the next round. Now we got 3 Milwaukee versus 6 Chicago.
I'm only going to talk about this game more because, we're a lot of people here are Bulls fans.
Yeah.
But the Bucks are winning. There's not much debate.
This is probably going to be like the second worst series in the whole first round.
I think out of both the East and West combined, this is the one series in the first round that I can see being a 4-0 sweep.
Suns versus 8 seed. I think as well.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess, but I think, yeah. But the Bulls,
maybe I could see a team getting a game on the Suns, but
the Bulls just aren't it.
They're just lost.
They're just not it right now.
I mean, thinking about it, here's what they need to do. They need to stop doing so much ISO with Levine and DeRozan. They need to have Vooch play in the paint, or Vooch needs to play in the paint.
Yeah. Oh, I don't get why they don't have Vooch in the paint to begin with.
That's their big problem. And we'll have to see what the starting lineup they roll out is, because Billy Donovan said last night he's considering having Tristan Thompson start with Vucevic. Dude, I told you this guy was a fraud. I mean, and the only reason I say that, I'd rather start Patrick Williams because
Williams just went off for 35.
Williams had 35 last night, but when we played the Bucks a week or two ago, Williams started and he was on Giannis. Giannis didn't take a single shot in the first quarter, and he had one of his least explosive games of the whole year. It was just our role players that went off and beat us. It was Wesley Matthews. It was Grayson Allen had some shots. So, the only chance the Bulls have is to go back to how they were playing earlier in the year. And not just by, I don't mean by winning games. I mean by not trying to win with the talent that they have and win by being an aggressive, tough-minded team who makes all the dirty plays. I think maybe they can get a game, but I expect the Bucks to win this in 4 games.
Giannis is just too good.
Playoff Giannis is that guy. So I got Milwaukee in 4.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I'd say Milwaukee in 4. Again, like you said, maybe the Bulls squeak out one. I'll say 5. I'll give the Bulls a game. But
it'd be the first good team they beat all year.
Yeah. Bulls are just not. They're just not it.
Not right now. Next year they'll be better, but not. They just don't have. They don't have that much talent this year. I mean, they got the top guys, but they're not very deep. I mean, there's one guy off the bench that you trust to come out and score. You don't even trust to come out and score, and that's Kobe White. He's not.
Kobe's elite. He should be the number 3 throughout the entire playoffs, probably. just a suggestion. Maybe even number 2. Levine's kind of mid. So. All right, next series.
Philadelphia and Toronto.
Yeah, Philly's winning.
Are they?
Don't take Toronto. Don't do it. You did not take Toronto.
I did.
Dude, no one matches up with Embiid well on this team.
That is a problem, and I will say that if Toronto wins, it's going to be in 7. It will be in 7. I expect Philly to get out to the 2-0 start,
and then choke it.
I think they'll go, obviously they're going to have to go to Toronto for games 3 and 4. I think Doc Rivers. This is a good thing for the Sixers.
No,
this is a good thing. You get that fraudulent coach out of there, and you build for next year.
No, Doc Rivers is that guy.
Nick Nurse will outcoach the crap out of Doc Rivers. And
put Embiid on the court alone with their starting 5, and Embiid will win. It doesn't matter. We don't need anyone else.
Honestly, I don't even think that's that unreasonable.
The only issue I see with Philly in this series is that Thibault can't play in the away games because it's in Canada. That's the only issue I'm seeing.
Here's my problem. I don't know, for me, just as much as I don't know who's going to stop Embiid, I don't know who's going to play that good a defense against Fred VanVleet. That's just a match.
Again, it's gonna be Thibault on those home games, but on those away games, it might be an issue. But I can expect some guys to step up.
It's gonna be interesting. I trust the Raptors don't go very deep in their rotation. They only play I think they only play 7 guys. But they have a really nice starting 5 with Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, who's underrated, Scotty Barnes, who's in the Rookie of the Year race, and then Siakam playing the small ball 5. But I'm taking Toronto, and I think Harden stays in Philly, but because he is a free agent,
he wants to come back.
But he's going to want to come back.
Okay, so I wanted to say this real quick. I think you're right. I was being sarcastic when I said that Doc Rivers is that guy. I know he's not. I think the plan, from what it seems like and from what's been going around for a while, is we either win in the playoffs at least one series and keep going, and then Doc Rivers would likely stay, or we lose right away and he's gone. And so, it can be a win-win for us. It also sounds like Harden really wants to come back.
Yeah. And
on top of it, it also sounds like another superstar wants to come play with us, and that's Bradley Beal.
Yeah, there's some suitors for him. I mean, I could see him going to either Miami or Boston as well.
I mean, yeah, there's a few teams that in mind, but there's been talks of him in Philly especially,
Yeah.
and I think based off of the moves we make after the playoffs and how good we do in the playoffs will depend on.
I
I,
think,
I think I think this playoff run has major impact for Philly outside of just this season, but going into next season.
in my opinion, I think Doc Rivers gets fired even if you guys win the first round series.
It depends on how badly we lose the second. If we keep it, if we play a team like the Bucks or I guess maybe the Celtics,
Hmm.
because assuming the top four seeds win. So if we play, or no, it would be the Heat then. If we play a team like the Bucks, Celtics, or Heat, or something like that, and we keep it close but lose, I honestly think Rivers would stay another year. Not. I mean,
Doesn't mean he deserves to.
yeah, I completely agree, but I think at that point they would still keep him. I don't know for sure though.
So now we got the second round: Miami, Brooklyn.
That's Miami, Brooklyn for you.
Miami, Brooklyn for
It's Celtics, Cavs for me. 2 versus 8.
me. 1 versus 7 for me.
So
I
who
got
you got?
Brooklyn.
Dude, quit. Brooklyn's not making it to the
Why?
conference finals. There are so many teams. There are at least 3 teams better than them.
Well, I'll be interested. I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but Ben Simmons is going to play in the playoffs.
Bad. I genuinely think that's gonna.
It could very well hurt them.
I think the issue is it's not like me being a salty Philly fan and saying, "Man, I hate Ben Simmons."
It's just the chemistry.
He has no chemistry with the team.
I like what he brings, but it could be a challenge.
He'll be a big impact guy next year when he gets a whole off season.
Playing that point forward role.
As long as I was gonna say, they have to play him at the 4. I feel like,
but he could also play the point, bringing the ball up the floor.
I don't like that though.
But no. But I mean, when you're playing point, you're the primary playmaker, but you could also play big and play more of the 4. But it doesn't mean he's going to be a shot creator.
Yeah, no way. That experiment happened long ago and it didn't work. So
who do you have? Boston, Cleveland.
I took Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I like Cleveland's little run here. You know, making it out of the play-in, being the 8 seed, and then beating the 1 seed. But again, like I said before, seeds 2 through 4 are all better than the Heat.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I could see the Nets going as far if they have the path that you're giving them. I honestly don't think it's that hard to make it.
No.
But I mean, again, the Celtics with Robert Williams are probably the best team in the East. So
yeah,
I mean, I think the Celtics are going to make it far. So
you got Milwaukee, Philly. I got Milwaukee, Toronto. Who do you have winning?
I don't got Philly.
I
got the dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna be such a fun matchup though. If they put Embiid on Giannis, that is gonna be like one of the highlights of the entire playoffs.
The most fun part is that they're both pretty. Giannis is an all-world defender. Embiid's a pretty good defender himself. They can't stop each other. Like they cannot stop each other.
Probably not.
It's been proven they can. Neither of them can stop each
it's
other.
It's gonna be big games by both of them.
Patrick
each and every
Williams
matchup.
blocks up, but
well, of course, but what can Embiid do?
exactly fraud. But
Nah.
I have Milwaukee winning as well.
Okay, so we both have Milwaukee winning in this matchup. I mean, I guess different matchup, but
Yeah,
no, I don't see Philly making it that far. I can't.
Harden's kind of not been that good.
Harden, I don't think Harden's going to be bad. I think he's going to be pretty solid.
You better have a light switch or something because he's got to flip it fast.
I think the Bucks rotation is stronger than ours.
Yeah,
Ours is very inconsistent. We have a very inconsistent bench.
They have a very nice bench. They got Bobby Portis who can come off and get you some shots and some rebounds. It depends on what they do for their matchup because they start different guys at the 2 every game, whether it be Grayson Allen or
Elite Grayson Allen's.
I hate that guy.
I know you do.
Or
whatever.
what's his name? Wesley Matthews. Sometimes they start Wesley Matthews too. He's a really good spot up shooter and can also play some solid defense. But I will say about the Bucks, I forgot to mention this. Grayson Allen's been dealing with an injury, so he might miss it. He could miss some time.
I don't think it matters too much, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, but he's a good defender. He is actually a pretty solid defender, so that could change their rotation a little bit. But I don't think it hurts Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee still makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
All right, so in the Eastern Conference Finals, I got Celtics, Bucks.
I got Bucks, Brooklyn.
Who do you got winning?
I got the Bucks.
Thank you, dude. Okay, I got the Bucks too. So different pathways, but you and me both got Bucks making it to the finals.
Yep.
Giannis is just too good. Like if I'm being
There's
honest,
if we have enough time, I'd love to talk about Giannis at the end of this.
this I could easily see the Celtics winning though. I do want to say that in my matchup.
And by that, at
Celtics
that
can
point, if they
definitely
make it that far, Williams will be back. He'll be back in the second round, I believe.
probably.
He's not going to play in the first round. But now we're on to the West, and it starts back in the play-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers, Timberwolves, for the 7th seed.
I got the Wolves.
I got the Wolves.
Dude,
Any other year, I'll take the Clippers, but
I don't know. I'm not that high on the Clippers, I don't think. I don't know what it is about them. I'm just not that high on them. And I love Cat.
I love the role
well,
players. I love the Cavs, or not the Cavs, but I love the Clippers role players. Terrence Mann.
I was going to say Trey Man. Okay.
Both are buckets, though.
That's true. Trey Man.
Zubac, Batum. They got Reggie Jackson's had a great year.
Reggie Jackson's been pretty solid. This Wolves
Wolves are just good.
Wolves, dude. Karl Anthony Towns is one of the best
He's going to be all
big
NBA
man
second
shooters.
team.
Dude, he's one of the best big man shooters ever,
Mm-hmm.
potentially. And I don't see that changing, obviously. I mean, I guess it's the Clippers. I mean, the Clippers aren't anything super special, I don't think.
This year they're not because Kawhi's out.
Exactly. Oh, no, if Kawhi was in, they would be in the playoffs.
They'd probably be a top 4 seed.
Kawhi's insane. That's a whole different story. With him out, the Wolves.
What if they go on a run, they get Kawhi back, if they somehow make it to the finals?
That'd be
a story.
They would probably, I mean, depending on who they'd play, they'd probably win.
They would have a very real chance.
Kawhi versus Giannis
Would be fun.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about it. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that.
So now we got Spurs Pelicans.
I already know who you pick. Who'd you pick?
I picked the Pelicans.
I took the Spurs.
Why?
I took.
Oh,
the
you know what?
Spurs.
I can't even say why because they've actually been on a nice run. So
They have.
I would love to see the Spurs win.
DeJounte Murray's pretty solid.
DeJounte Murray is borderline all NBA.
I think he can carry the Spurs into a win.
They got some nice players, but I don't know. I just don't trust them. The Pelicans.
I don't trust the Pelicans.
Why?
I don't know. I just like the Spurs. This was one of the matchups I was just kind of like, I'll take the Spurs. I won't even lie to you.
I'm interested in the Pelicans and what they can do because it sucks because if they make the playoffs, they draw Phoenix first round. It sucks.
Phoenix is mid. So it don't
Pelicans did beat the Suns a couple times. So, and if they somehow make it out of the first round.
Dude, okay, but
eventually they could get Giannis back.
But I'm
not Giannis, Zion.
I'm gonna be completely honest though. Jackson Hayes is gonna be good. Jackson Hayes,
a solid player.
He had a good game last night.
Yeah.
And I think he'll play well. I bet you he'll probably play the best in this matchup.
That's
my guess.
I love Valanciunas as well. I'm a big Valanciunas fan.
I mean, Valanciunas is pretty good.
Better than Vooch.
Well, but literally every center is better than Vooch.
So that brings us to our 8-9 game.
It's 8-10 for me.
Yep, that's right.
So Clippers versus Pelicans. Who do you got?
I'm taking the Pelicans.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see it. I mean, I think it's kind of a toss up at that point. But Clippers, Spurs. I took the Spurs, baby.
Oh my God.
DeJounte Murray is.
I could see it.
Solid. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
They've had a nice end of the season, so I don't even hate that.
I think that I think momentum in the NBA is very important.
Yeah. Whole Timberwolves coaching staff just got a contract extension, so there it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
They fired like their whole front office and their whole coaching staff like a year ago, and they've had a nice rebuild, and they did it. They're ahead of schedule.
Oh yeah, there's a few teams that are on pace to be pretty good now.
Yeah, Cleveland, New Orleans,
Spurs. Spurs are gonna do.
The Spurs are committing to the rebuild.
Spurs are going to do, and they're still in the
I
play-in,
know.
and the Lakers aren't, and that's all that matters.
That's beautiful.
The Spurs are going to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now.
I'd honestly love to see it. But that brings us to the playoffs in the Western Conference. 1 versus 8, Suns versus Pelicans for me. Suns versus Spurs for you. No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
You saw that look of concern on my face.
I won't lie. I was so close to considering it, but there's no way. There's no way. It's Suns and 4.
The Suns are just good.
Suns and 4. Suns are amazing.
I love the Pelicans. I think they have a bright future. I hope Zion stays there because I like what they're building.
Booker's probably going to win first team All NBA. I mean,
yeah, he'll be up there. If he doesn't get first, he'll get second.
DeAndre
probably
Ayton, Mikal Bridges is high up there for defensive player of the year.
Is my spoiler. Mikal Bridges is my defensive player of the year.
I mean, he's probably top 2 or 3 for me. I mean, I don't.
Him, Marcus Smart are right up there for me.
And then Jaren Jackson probably.
Yeah,
those are probably my top 3. Unless you want to count Robert Williams,
Rudy Gobert.
Don't say that, man. Don't call him that. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, Suns and 4.
Suns and 3, if I'm being completely honest. But,
2 Grizzlies, 7 Timberwolves.
Grizzlies, easy.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it easy?
Yes, it is.
Grizzlies win in 6 or 7.
Grizzlies win in 5.
No way.
Easy.
I think the Timberwolves.
No, the Grizzlies are one of the most underrated teams. I mean, I don't understand how a team can be underrated and the 2nd seed at the same time.
Because I think a lot of people consider them frauds, but I don't consider them frauds.
There's no way they are. How?
There's a lot of, I don't know.
How many games have they lost without Ja Morant? Isn't it like
2 or 3?
My point.
Yeah,
and Ja Morant is a borderline first team All NBA player.
He would have made first team All NBA had he played more games, but he's not going to get it.
No, he'll probably get second.
Second or third. I could see him getting like third.
Well, again, like you just said, he should be first, assuming if he played more games. He played he's probably going to. No.
He had 2 pretty big injuries, and it made him miss significant time.
And that's that's his only issue. But even that, and that even goes into my point saying that they've only lost a couple games without him.
Yeah.
And they're a really well-rounded team.
Ja Morant makes the Grizzlies worse, confirmed.
Well, yeah, more losses with him than without him.
Yeah.
Cut him, trade him to Philly.
To be fair, I did look at it. They have not been against great teams, but it's still very impressive.
When you lose your best player and you're still winning almost every game, I don't even care who you're playing. It's insane. So, easy, give me the Grizzlies.
Okay. But yeah, I think the Wolves can get some games there. But 3 Warriors, 6 Nuggets. Who are you taking here?
I took the Nuggets.
You took the Nuggets? Okay.
Jokic. That's it. Jokic.
That's literally it.
But so I took the Nuggets, and then I was like, well,
how many games do you think it goes to?
It'd be 6 or 7. I think this is going to be one of the better series in the first round. But
either way,
I mean, I don't know. I took the Nuggets right away, and then I sat there thinking if the Warriors could really match up with Jokic, and
can't.
I mean. I wouldn't.
Draymond can help, but it's going to be Jokic versus Kevon Looney.
I don't even know who that is, and if that says something.
He's their starting center.
Jesus. Okay.
Well, because Wiseman's hurt.
Should be Wiseman. Okay. Should be Wiseman. Okay, so he's the backup center pretty much.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay.
He played every game this year.
Really?
Yes, he was Iron Man this year.
Oh my God.
He's not Mikal Bridges, who's never missed a game in his entire career.
4-year career.
Which is so
insane.
impressive. Shout out to him for playing every night.
Shout out to him for being an actual NBA player.
Yeah.
And not someone who just sits on the bench half the time. LeBron.
I was just going to do that same thing.
But, no, I
scrolling through Twitter during games.
No one... Jesus, dude, LeBron. I support LeBron, too. And he makes it harder and harder for me, too, if I'm being honest. But, no one can truly match up against Jokic well. You said, Draymond could help, and that was the one guy I was thinking, he probably could do something.
They did a double team with him and Looney, but that's just going to leave Will Barton open for shots, and Will Barton's a solid player. The only problem I have with the Nuggets, I'm taking the Warriors, but the only problem I have with the Nuggets is they're hurt. They're hurt. They don't have their second and third option.
I miss Jamal
Murray, man.
Dude, one of my favorite players in all of the NBA
is
Jamal Murray, and I miss him.
Dude, that's a tough injury, and maybe if they go on a run, he can come back, but I don't see it. as well as Michael Porter Jr.
This team is I'm looking at the seeding. They're probably the three. I would say the Nuggets would be the 3 seed if all of their players were healthy.
I'd probably have them 3 or 2. Yeah, I mean they're right up there. So give me the Warriors over the Nuggets.
I'll take the Nuggets.
Mavericks Jazz.
Okay.
This is tough right now.
I know the injury, I'll say slight injury to Luka. I see him coming back.
We don't. The only problem is we don't know exactly like what degree of a calf strain it is. I saw someone say last night the shortest amount of time someone missed with a calf strain was 3 days, but the most someone missed was like over 2 weeks. So we don't know.
So it's basically around a week is what I would expect.
Yeah,
I think he'll be back right. He
might miss a game.
He might miss like the first game, but even so, if Luka's out, dude, Spencer Dinwiddie is gonna go off.
Who?
Spencer Dinwiddie, boy, he's gonna go off. I call him that because that's what I thought his name was. Don't think I'm actually doing that on purpose.
I was like, wait.
Nah, dude, Dinwiddie's going off for real though. If Luka's out. Dude's insane. He's honestly been very solid.
He's made the team better than Porzingis.
Porzingis just didn't fit in with his team well is the issue.
And he didn't like Luka.
And he's with Washington, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been pretty solid. I think he averaged over 22. I think he's over 22 points a game with Washington this year. So he's obviously been a solid player.
Yeah.
For him, but
I'm taking the Jazz. As much turmoil as there is in Utah, I don't really trust them to win playoff games, but I'm just doing it.
I almost took the Jazz.
It's one of those gut things, you know.
The Jazz are the better team, but
I don't think they are.
What?
I think they're deeper. They're deeper. I'll say that.
Now I'm confused because if you say the Jazz aren't even the better team, and then on top of it, your 2 best players are feuding, I don't see how you could even pick them.
Quinn Snyder's a great coach. That's
okay.
The Jazz are really deep.
I think
they have.
Do you really think he can outcoach and coach up like situations where both Mitchell and Gobert can like
don't want to kill each other?
Yeah, play fluently on the
court.
I don't know.
I'm taking the Jazz because playoff Donovan Mitchell is that guy, but also please pass the ball to Rudy Gobert in the paint, please. When he has I don't know,
Klay Thompson on him.
That was hilarious.
That was just. So dumb. I love Donovan Mitchell.
So you're taking the Mavs?
I'm taking the Mavs. I think this is a series that goes into 7 though.
Yeah. So that brings us to, for me it's Suns Jazz.
Me it's Suns Nuggets.
And then it's Grizzlies versus Warriors for me.
And then Grizzlies Mavs for me.
So we're gonna start with Suns Jazz and Suns Nuggets.
We're both taking the Suns.
I'm taking the Suns. That's pretty easy.
Although I do want to say though I don't know how well the Suns can match up against Jokic.
Ayton's good.
I was gonna say 8. I mean, I still think Jokic is gonna go off in at least 3 of these games, but the Suns are just so loaded.
I could see Jokic getting 40, 20, and 10 a couple times.
40, 20?
He's done a couple times.
Not this year.
He has.
No, he hasn't, because Embiid's the only one who has done it. Embiid did it
close. He might have had a few
Embiid did it. Embiid did it this weekend. I think he did it Saturday.
Yeah.
And
I think they played the Pacers.
Still did it.
Yeah.
40-20 is insane. I mean, if he goes 40-20-10, I'd be highly impressed. That's insane.
He's capable of it.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Easily. But
Suns.
It's clearly the Suns. I mean, I don't think there's much that goes into it. Booker
good.
He's going to be first team All-NBA.
Probably deserves it, too.
He deserves it. I would still probably...
There's so many guys that are deserving of first team All-NBA.
No one gets snubbed. I hate that. No one really gets snubbed of, first team, second team, because there's so many players that still deserve it, but you want to only put in 5 guys. You can only put in 2
You could
guards.
say he deserves it, but that doesn't mean it's a snub, because you have to give someone who doesn't deserve it.
My point. Luka... Okay, we all know Luka's guaranteed as one of the 2 guards. Yeah. And then I think it's honestly between Booker and Young. I think Trae Young deserves it just as much as Booker does.
But I think Booker.
But I don't think one of them's going to get snubbed. It's
especially because Booker's on a better team.
Exactly. And that's why I think Booker's probably going to get it because he's on the better team. You're right. But
Grizzlies Warriors for me, and then
Grizzlies Mavs. Give me the Grizzlies.
I'm going to take the Warriors.
I hate you. Taking the Grizzlies.
Suns Warriors was kind of looked at heading into the year as most likely Western Conference Finals matchup, and There's been some breaks in that with Steph getting hurt, Clay not coming back, or Clay missing about half the season, Draymond being out for a couple months, Wiseman setbacks. But I think I think the Warriors get there, and I think they get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I mean,
or Western Conference Finals, my bad.
That'd be something to see, but the Grizzlies...
Dude, playoff stuff is different.
Dude, the Grizzlies are so good. Dude, Jaren Jackson, one of the best defensive players in the league right now. Ja. And then moving on, Desmond Bane's pretty solid. This whole team is... Yeah. Zaire Williams hasn't done a ton as a rookie, but he's still a solid guy coming off the bench. So I think this matchup would probably go deeper for me, potentially, assuming Luka plays. But I'm still taking the Grizzlies, probably in 6, maybe 5 even.
So Suns, Grizzlies for you, Suns, Warriors for me.
You taking the Suns?
Who are you taking?
No, I asked you first.
I'm taking the Suns.
I'm taking the Grizzlies.
You're taking the Grizzlies.
Dude, the Grizzlies are going to the finals, baby.
Oh my God.
God, I am Western. Okay, I'm
taking the Suns. Sorry.
Western Conference teams alone. I am a Grizzlies fan because I love Ja. I love Ja his entire career, bro. This dude's insane. I'm an honorary Grizzlies fan for the playoffs.
All right.
Outside of obviously Philly, because Philly's my actual team. But Steven Adams is going to go off in this finals. I can already tell you right now.
Aquaman is his name.
Aquaman is going to go off in the Western Conference Finals and make it to the finals.
So that brings us to the NBA Finals. Milwaukee versus Phoenix for me.
Again? Dude, I just processed that. You got Milwaukee, Phoenix again, 2 years in a row.
And you have Milwaukee versus Memphis, which I could see both those happening.
I need you to go first.
You're taking the Grizzlies, aren't you?
I'm taking the Grizzlies, baby. Grizzlies are winning it all.
I'm taking Milwaukee. I want to talk about this, and I'm glad we have a few minutes. And this is something you and I have talked about a lot.
Let's hear it. What do you got?
The conversation and narrative around Giannis, what's it going to be? I think he wins MVP. I think he's going to win MVP.
I think this is something you and me have both agreed on. The worst thing that the NBA has, every single thing that encompasses the NBA combined, is voting fatigue. Is one of the worst things ever. Am I wrong? No, because Giannis deserves the MVP this year, just as much as Jokic, just as much as Embiid.
Yes.
I think it's still think it's a 3-way race.
Giannis brings more value, especially defensively.
Embiid is. I think the big argument for him is he is the only true consistent player on that team, and I think he's the reason that Philly is still as good as they were because Harden wasn't there the first half of the year.
Yeah, dude, I really like. I think I feel like if they win this, say Giannis gets Finals MVP. Say wins NBA MVP. Maybe he even wins Defensive Player of the Year.
He won't win Defensive.
I don't think he will, but maybe he does.
He gets all 3. Imagine.
I'm sorry, but he's top 10 all time.
I've already told you this. I'm willing to go for. I'm not saying after this year alone, but I think when his career's done, he's a top 3 player. Yep. Top 3.
He's right up there.
I'd be willing to say he has true potential to be the best NBA player ever.
I agree with that, and it's fun to see where he came from, and he was never really hyped up. He worked his butt off. He was never he was a scrawny kid from Greece when he came to the league, and then he dude, his transformation's insane.
When was he picked?
2014.
Do you remember was he one of the top 4 picks?
14th pick, I think.
All right, so he was somewhere down there.
Yeah,
that's okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. But thank you guys for listening to this episode of Play Action Podcast presented by Warriors Student Media. Catch you guys next time for an NFL mock draft review. For TJ Haws, I'm Brandon Smith.
Grizzlies win.